Hey co-stars, welcome to another Generation Films video, and in this video we are going to analyze the teaser trailer for the new Star Trek Picard, which just dropped like a day ago or 2 days ago, depending on when you're watching this, depending on when I upload it. So yeah, let's just recap a little bit about this hotly anticipated series. It's going to be set 20 years after the events of Star Trek Nemesis, the last Next Generation film, which was made back in 2002, I believe, if I remember correctly, when Picard fights his clone, played by Tom Hardy. Very cool movie. A lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was awesome. Anyway, so this series is set 20 years after that, when Picard is quite old. Patrick Stewart is an executive producer of the series, so it looks like they are going to be sort of focusing a lot on nostalgia, bring in elements that are more similar to the Next Generation, because obviously Patrick Stewart is on board, and he was the one who was in the Next Generation for, you know, almost 2 decades playing Captain Picard, so I'm sure he can add a lot to it. Now, first of all, let's just take a look at the poster for the new Picard series, all right? We're gonna keep you in anticipation a little bit longer before we go through the teaser trailer. So the poster features a vineyard, and it has the words, "The end is only the beginning," okay? So now, obviously, what this is the Picard family vineyard in France, okay, southeastern France near Switzerland, which was featured in the last episode of The Next Generation back in 1994, All Good Things, okay? That episode, it's a 2-part episode. It's really slow going at the beginning. There's half an hour where there's literally hardly anything happens. It's just talking. Geordi visits Picard as an old man. It's kind of a flash forward to the future. So Picard gets visited as an old man at his vineyard. He's retired, he's growing grapes and making wine and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like, it's very, very cool that they're bringing that back in. The end, obviously referring to the end of the Next Generation series, and that's only the beginning of, you know, the next chapter in Picard's life, whatever that is. They're still keeping that quiet. But anyway, we're now going to take a look at the trailer, and another cool thing about the trailer is the trailer actually was dropped on May 23rd, which was the exact date that the last episode of the Next Generation, like we said, All Good Things, actually aired. The original air date back in 1994, May 23rd. So they dropped it on the same day. So they're really going heavy with the Easter eggs, with the nostalgia. A lot of stuff seems to have a lot of meaning behind it, which is very, very cool. It's exactly what the true Star Trek fans want, okay? And by the way, both the All Good Things and the new one, the new vineyard, they're both shot in California. Okay, now let's actually go through the trailer, and we'll go through, I won't play it just because of the copyright issues, but we'll go through it shot by shot. So we start off in the vineyard, and we get this close-up of a grapevine, one of the plants, and it pans up to this shot. That's Picard's hand, obviously touching one of the leaves. Then we get a shot of him washing his hands. Very, very beautifully shot. And then we get finally a wide reveal shot that you see, yes, this is indeed a vineyard. And you've got some cool looking hover crop dusters. Obviously, they didn't really have the technology to do that back in '94, to put in CGI, you know, models of spaceships or equipment or whatever, but they can do that now, so it's a nice touch. It's a futuristic looking vineyard. Very, very cool. And then we have some shots of, you know, Picard walking in his boots, quite similar to some of the shots that you would have seen back in '94 in All Good Things. We have Picard's shadow, so it really kind of builds attention. It gets you thinking, who is this guy? You are suspecting that it is Picard, although you can't really make it out from the shadow, but because of, you know, because it's a vineyard, because of the nostalgia, you're pretty sure it's Picard. And then you see Chateau Picard, okay, the wine that he is producing at the vineyard that's been in Picard's family. So it kind of confirms to you, yes, this is Picard. He has retired. He's in this vineyard. He's growing wine. Now, all the while this is going on, there is actually a voiceover over the top, which gives a lot of clues as to what's happening. So I'm going to read you out that voiceover. So the voiceover says, 15 years ago today, you led us out of the darkness. You commanded the biggest rescue armada in history. Then the unimaginable. What did that cost you? Your faith in us, your faith in yourself. Why did you leave Starfleet, Admiral? And just after the narrator says Admiral, we then get this shot of Picard, or it could be Professor X. You can't really tell anything that, you know, signifies that this is Star Trek. But anyway, he just slowly looks up to the camera. So from this, you get a few things from the voiceover. And the voice, actually, on the voiceover sounds really like Sonequa Martin Green, although it obviously isn't, because that's obviously a different time period, but it sounds similar. Maybe it's just the director has asked her to, whoever this voiceover is, to, read in a similar way or something like that. I don't know. I don't actually know who this voiceover is either. So some of the female actors for the show have been confirmed. It might be Alison Pill or it could be Michelle Hurd. I listened to both of their voices on various clips of them. I couldn't really make it out. I thought it sounded perhaps more similar to Alison Pill, but it could be, maybe it's neither of them. We really don't know who this is, but it's possible that it's one of Picard's former crew when he was with Starfleet. So we'll go through it anyway. So 15 years ago today, you led us out of the darkness. You commanded the biggest rescue armada in history. Now, some people think that this may be referring to the destruction of Romulus and Picard possibly leading an armada to rescue Romulans from the planet. Now, it had been kind of confirmed before that the destruction of Romulus would feature in this, and they say 15 years ago today, which would put that 5 years after Nemesis. And so, yeah, in theory, Picard probably would have gone on being a captain after Nemesis, and then he led this rescue armada, and perhaps, he did a great job. He rescued a load of Romulans or whatever, and that's what led to him being promoted to admiral, even though, Kirk had previously, said to Picard, you don't want to take that promotion, you don't want to leave the bridge of the Enterprise. Anyway, whatever. So then we have the unimaginable. What did that cost you? So obviously after that mission, whatever it is, whether it was rescuing people from Romulus or not, after that mission, something bad happened to Picard. And it cost him. He lost faith in himself, in his crew, maybe. We really don't know, but something bad happened, okay? And this thing is probably the thing that led him to leave Starfleet, and then, the narrator says Admiral, so we do know that he got promoted to Admiral. So basically that's what we get from this. You actually get quite a little bit more than I thought you were going to get, because of this voiceover. It does feature, a few key points, like, biggest rescue armada in history, he did something, then something bad happened that cost him his faith, and he left Starfleet, but we know he was promoted to be an Admiral. And then I'll just take you through the last two shots of the trailer. So we have a reveal of the logo, pretty cool. They're using the kind of retro Star Trek writing there. It's kind of more similar to the original series. And then you've got Picard with obviously the A replaced by the Star Trek logo. Pretty predictable, very, very cool. And it plays kind of like the main Star Trek theme, or sort of a variation on the main Star Trek theme. And then we go to this shot. The end is only the beginning. And as we see this screen, we get the Next Generation series theme played on the flute. And another YouTube channel, Trek on the Tube, pointed out that Picard did play a type of flute during one episode of The Next Generation. It sounds kind of similar to that. So I think that it's kind of a little bit of an Easter egg, a little bit of nostalgia. Again, going back to, Picard played the flute. It was one of his personal kind of like hobbies, right? So this series is going to focus more on Picard as a person, as him, rather than him as captain of a ship. Alright guys, so that is the rundown of the trailer and kind of what we can get from it. There was some leaked footage of them filming at the Anaheim Convention Center, and it's done up like Starfleet Academy. And so there's some additional footage that was leaked, basically of I think it's probably a cadet or a junior officer asking Picard for his name, and he says, well, he doesn't say anything, but he looks at him with a very surprised look, as if like, you don't know who I am, that kind of thing. So what do I think that this series is going to be about? Well, I think it's probably going to start in the Vineyard, similar to the way All Good Things started. Picard's retired, and then his crew come and find him or whatever. But I think that possibly it's going to be that something has happened that requires Picard to kind of be brought out of retirement and do some work for Starfleet. I mean, it's either that. Some people have, there could be two different things, right? Some people have said, well, maybe this is like Picard acting on his own with a sort of ragtag team of people doing his own mission, and he's not actually going to be in Starfleet, it's going to be something else. Or what I think is possibly more likely, because we have seen the scene of him at Starfleet Academy, and also even in the teaser trailer, it looks like, the shot you see of him kind of being interviewed, asked why he left Starfleet, that looks like it could possibly be like an interview with someone at Starfleet Academy, maybe. So what I'm thinking possibly is that he's retired, but then Starfleet find him for an important mission that brings him out of retirement, okay? Something that only Picard would be able to do. So it could be something to do with the Borg. If he did rescue, people from Romulus, it could be something to do with Romulans. There's all a variety of things. Or it could be something new that we haven't seen before. That would also be great. And I'm considering maybe We're not actually going to be seeing Picard as a Starfleet captain of a ship. Well, obviously he's an admiral, but we're perhaps not going to be seeing him on a big starship. We're perhaps not even going to be seeing him in uniform. It could be that Starfleet find him for some sort of clandestine mission. He has gone on undercover missions in the past, so maybe we're going to be seeing him out of uniform on more of away missions or diplomatic roles, like actually going to alien societies and doing, more diplomatic stuff. That might be cool. Another kind of thing from the series was that one of Picard's passions was archaeology. And so this is just coming from me speculation. If they could include something like that in it, sort of like his archaeology and he's actually going into alien cultures and using that somehow as an aspect of this, that might also be cool as well. So, Patrick Stewart did say this is going to be Picard as we haven't seen him before. He might not be a captain, etc. So I'm definitely thinking that this is going to be more character driven. Maybe not even on a ship, maybe just more like, in societies, in alien societies, various different places. Anyway, very, very cool. And just one other thing, the guys from Trek Yards in their live stream the other day, one of those guys was talking about the fact that they're progressing very quickly with the filming. It's actually going quite fast. And possibly the reason for that is there are not going to be so many special effects shots in this series. So Discovery was very heavily on the special effects, and obviously special effects take a long time to do, because after you've actually filmed the footage, you then need to go put it into computers, do all CGI modeling, add all those effects to it, and it's that takes the time. So they were suspecting that possibly because their filming schedule is going so fast, it's going to be more character driven. There aren't going to be that many, well, obviously they're going to be special effects because there's going to still be ships and weapons and all these kind of things, but it might not be as much as like Discovery and that kind of thing. It's going to be more character driven, more small scale, intimate. And I think that's what the fans want. They want to learn about Picard's life, etc. So, my opinion, this is very, very promising. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be on CBS All Access here in the United States, and globally, in a departure from what Discovery was, the arrangement of Discovery, it's not going to be on Netflix, it's going to be on Amazon Prime. Netflix, I kind of feel sorry for them. They paid a lot for the first series of Discovery. It wasn't that popular. And, they kind of got screwed, okay? I bet they wish, they were getting this series. But anyway, whatever. So it's going to be on Amazon Prime. Guys, please leave your comments. What do you think about this below? Are you excited about the new Star Trek Picard series? I certainly am. And yeah, just leave your comments. Let us know what you think. Please subscribe if you're new. We will be covering the Star Trek Picard and, all the upcoming Star Trek stuff coming out. So subscribe to Generation Films. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.